Oh, is my Miss Maxine Factor here?
Present.
Oh, I like that husky voice. It's that song. It's our theme song. It kind of makes you feel a little bit like sexy, like you want to tweak your nipples,
It
right?
does. I feel very masculine.
Me too.
Mm.
So, welcome to Two Queens Checking In with
Yes, ma'am.
Maxine and Theta. That's me. You're Maxine.
Yes, I am.
In case you forgot today, because I know, bitch, you don't remember sometimes what day
I
it
do
is.
forget my name sometimes. I can't deny it.
All right, this is our inaugural, and I'm using big words, and I'm sorry.
I was going to say, can you explain that in smaller people words?
Let me break that down for you. Inaugural. It's in the groggle.
You made me choke.
I don't know what a good groggle is, but we're doing
Well,
it.
I've done that a few times to some people, but
And those bitches always come back for more of that good groggle, don't
they
they?
do. I don't understand why either. But they love it.
I'm just wiping the spit off my mouth. Hold on. Good goggles get me going.
Like we say, we do this to people.
Yes. Well, welcome to anybody that might be out there listening to us. Since, this is our first one.
Yes.
Well, I ain't expecting anybody to even know to come and listen, but that's okay. We are two queens and we are lifelong best friends.
Yes,
One
ma'am.
of us is a plus size diva living her best life, girl. And that's me, Vita.
And the other one is super skinny in her dreams.
Bitch is just gonna blow away in the next storm.
I am. I get so scared every time the wind happens.
Yeah, because you're afraid of losing your taco you just got from Taco Bell.
So. I have moments. What can I say?
Miss Maxine is a semi-retired Tourettic drag queen living, and well, you're famous within a 2-mile radius of your home, correct?
It's more like 4. Thank you.
4? I was gonna say
I'm very famous.
Expanded
Yes.
that.
Since you last have seen me.
Well, what y'all can expect weekly is, as the title of our podcast says, we know nothing about everything, and we're willing to share about the thoughts with the world, because during this quarantine, we've realized that America needs us. We answered the call like really bejeweled, sequined Avengers. One of us with really hairy nipples. That's me.
Yes. Because I shave.
Oh my God. The world needs us. And we're answering, America.
The Men in Black actually came and saw me. And they told me the world needs us. So, you don't mess with the Men in Black. You have to do as they say. So,
I'm going to mess with them always, sideways, upside down, left, right.
They came and visited me, and I gave them a visit as well.
Because I knew Men in Black was who that Thor? Is that Liam Hemsworth? No. That's his brother, Chris Hemsworth.
No, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. Liam's the one that, him and Miley broke up. I'm still so sad about that.
Oh, don't talk about that. That makes me
I
really
know.
upset.
It hurts my soul.
My total everything.
I know.
You think about it. Like, Miley Cyrus was Hannah Montana. She lived the best of both worlds. So do I.
Right?
So, yeah.
I just want her to be happy. And if Liam's not it, then that's fine. It's just like, damn. Like, if they can't make it, who can?
Exactly. That's why I'm saving myself.
Did you wait
till
for
the quarantine
Liam?
Is over. No, just till the quarantine's over.
Oh my God. I have to ask you something. Now, This is something that I just heard, and I don't know how I missed it on my fucking gaydar. Because, my gaydar's strong. I mean, living in the world with all my gay menses. And I just heard Grindr's gone.
What?
Is that true? Wait, okay, is that not true? Yeah,
No,
I
wait.
heard
Say,
Grindr is
I
gone.
want to make sure I did not miss that. Say it one more time, slowly and
The
clearly.
rumor I heard was that Grindr is gone. Like they disbanded the company and it is no more.
No, I just got a message from a Grindr boy like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
And I actually just opened it up as we speak because I want to make sure.
Oh my god, is it a dick? Because if it's a dick, I need you to send that to me.
Well,
You know,
I get lots of interesting photos. Let me just say that.
I'm just gonna need that, please.
My biggest question and concern though is how do they get their hand all the way back there at that angle?
You know what? Some people are really flexible. Okay,
I'm
like.
telling you.
Okay, so that was just a horrible, terrible rumor then, because
yeah, unless something bad is happening in the upcoming future, but no, I just checked and everything's fine. So
okay, thank you.
Don't scare
I was like
me
sitting there and I was like, how is any gay man gonna get laid ever again if Grindr is gone?
I was gonna say, how do you think I'm so popular?
This is like a fucking like national security issue. We need to get like a White House task force on this because we cannot go back to the old days where we actually had to go in public and meet people at bars and shit.
I was gonna say White House task force, what, led by Mike Pence?
Okay, well, we all know that bitch is a Grindr queen, even though he doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah, we'll call him Glory Helena. Just saying.
He's on there like, somebody let me call you daddy.
I'm not making any accusations, but I'm totally accusing him of that.
Yeah. Well, Glory Helena, as Mike Pence is now forever known on our podcast.
Yes.
You know that bitch. You think he's into bears? You think that's his jam? He wants a daddy?
I don't know. I think he might be a twink lover.
You think? I think he needs somebody to
fox, so
I feel like he needs somebody to like take control. Like he's just like, I'm in control all day.
You know, I could see that actually. That does make sense. Yeah. And I will say you probably are a better gay man than I am half the time, so I'll take your word for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know. I mean, I was top tier in my day.
I mean, you knew me before I knew me, so.
True story, girl. Mm-hmm. I don't know how that always happens to me, but I always know, even before anybody else knows. And it's always the worst because people, I know, people be coming out to me and I'm like, I know. And I get so mad at me because it's like a thing, like, you know, and I ruined the thing because I already knew.
Well, it was like, remember how with me you made me that cake that says congratulations, you're gay? And I was like, I'm not. And then you were like, girl.
And then I handed you a dick and you shoved it in your mouth and I was like, see?
So.
Your first instinct was to shove it in your mouth. That's, you know. Little key indicator right there, baby.
Yeah, kid in the candy store. I mean,
no, but I do think I did that to you when you came out to me, and I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you absolutely did. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna deny it. You are a bitch.
Okay, well, I'm gonna apologize now because like that was like 20 years ago, and I'm very sorry that I ruined that.
It was longer than that. I'm just saying.
Was it? Oh my God.
I mean, think about it. Yeah, I'm not going to say numbers, but yeah.
Oh my God, bitch. We've been alive a long ass time. Mm-hmm. And that just tells everybody out there listening how long we've been friends. Like, because we've been friends since we were like, what, 16 years old?
Yes.
15? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. And I did also, I mean, technically, I dressed you in drag the first time.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
I
didn't fight it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad. It was bad because. Well,
if it'll make you feel any better, though, going into the present day, I am sitting here wearing my Jeffree Star lip gloss in honor of our inaugural episode.
Yes. So. Oh my God! Can we talk about that Jeffree Star kit that you got though? Because that shit. Let me just say. I know, right? Because you have been like quarantine buying and hoarding Jeffree Star. Nobody's business.
Everybody's been sitting there complaining about needing toilet paper and not being able to do anything. I've been sitting here putting on makeup. I'm like, oh wait, how many weeks have we been gone? I don't know. Felt like 10 minutes.
No, and like, okay, so I'm gonna have to say I'm a skeptic, right? So like when I see something that's like all high priced and by like, somebody who brings out their own makeup line, like I always expect it to be like you're paying for the name and
Oh,
not.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you unboxed that shit and showed me how fucking intense like the pigmentation and the color is, and like how
it's
like I just need you to
amazing.
talk about this because like now I'm kind of like willing to pay.
I want you to know that I hate to say this out loud, but the pictures I sent to you didn't even do it justice.
Oh my god.
Because what it looked like in a picture versus real life was actually a lot different. It was way more impressive in real life.
I mean, you told me you just like dipped your finger and swiped that across your beautiful, glorious fucking cheekbones because you have really good cheekbones.
If you watch the YouTube beauty gurus, they take their finger and they stick it in and they swirl it around. I didn't even do that. I just touched it and then put it on my face. Yeah. It was sickening.
That stuff is like magical.
And I'll tell you, I am the first to sit there and I'll completely agree with you. I'm big on buying drugstore makeup. I'm not about wasting your money buying all this high class fancy. But Jeffree Star and Morphe products. Yeah, well, I'm just realistic though. I'm not going to waste $100 on a makeup that is going to do the same thing a $5 makeup's going to do.
Exactly.
What's the point? But I'll tell you, and I'll be honest, worth every penny. And you think about the amount that you have to use per application for the price you're paying, you're actually still getting an amazing deal. So.
Oh my god, bitch! What do you do? Like crunch the numbers? Like do a return on an investment, like a banker and shit?
I mean, I am a banker, so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah. But. Yeah, because obviously I'm not just a drag queen and flawless all day. I do actually work for a living. So.
I forgot. Yeah. We aren't living that full, fabulous life yet.
True. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've spent, $5 on a eyeshadow from the drugstore and used it, X amount of times. And by the time it's all said and done, the Jeffree Star makeup, you use it 10 times more, much longer. Yeah, definitely price-wise, it's worth it.
Yeah, it makes me a little mad, though. Because, now I have to feel like now I have to try other things that are expensive and overpriced just in case.
Well, that's because I'm the bougie bitch that spends all their money unnecessarily. So, yeah.
It's true. It's not your fault. You're so pretty. You've got to keep it up.
It's true. Did you hear the story, by the way, speaking of Jeffree Star makeup? And I'm sure everybody who will hear this knows that, like, anytime Jeffree Star releases a product, it's like mad dash to the checkout.
Yes.
And, he's obviously broken the internet before with this. So,
yes.
Jeffree Star came out with the Jeffree Star Morphe palette about a year ago. And I was in Michigan visiting my brother, and there's a Morphe store in Michigan. So I was like, I have to go and I have to get this palette and I have to make sure I get it before it sells out. And the mall I went to is huge. It literally is 2 buildings with a highway in between it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Do they have a bus or like golf carts or some shit? Because I'm not walking that whole mall.
They have a big bridge that connects the two with those people movers. But we all know those people movers move slow anyway. Well, the thing is I walk into the mall and I'm like, where's the Morphe store? And they're like, oh, it's on the other side.
Oh my God.
So I had to run.
Wait, you don't run?
No. I don't run for anything unless it's like a Taco Bell order. Yeah. So not only did I have to run from one end to the mall to the other, but I had to run from one end to the other of this mall. It was running a marathon. Yeah. So let's just say by the time I get to the store, I have sweat falling off my face. I have under boob sweat, a hot mess. I look up and I say to the girl, "Do you have the Jeffree Star makeup?" And she goes, right there. Like totally disgusted by my fat, sweaty, clammy. And do you realize they actually had like a whole display's worth and nobody even touched?
Shit.
Yeah, it was not cute.
See, I've been complaining about being in quarantine, and you bitches weren't even going to the mall before. Because if that shit broke the internet because everybody was trying to get it online, and there's a whole display sitting at the store that nobody even touched, y'all weren't even going outside
They were
before.
quarantining back then. Yeah.
Right? And I mean, I think now it's just the whole point of standing there going, well, I can't go outside. And, you didn't want to before, but now somebody's telling you can't. And you're like, well, now I want to.
Well, and I love how people actually think that, like, the quarantine means they literally cannot go out their front step. I'm like, as long as you don't have 12 people standing on your front step, you're fine. But you can still go stand on your front step.
Well, some of us are popular enough to have lots of people. Oh, sorry.
Well,
I talk too much.
So do I. It's all good. I actually have to say that one of my favorite things that I've done since the quarantine has started, because, I sometimes feel like I'm not human when it comes to this, but I want to see how the humans are acting. So I just take nice, long, casual drives around my neighborhood and other neighborhoods surrounding me just to watch and see what's and it's actually kind of funny sometimes the stuff you'll see with it. So
yeah, I think the quarantine just made me like a worse like crazy lady, like because I never liked kids, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have some, but I raised them.
Kids were never like that. Yeah.
Right, my kids were not ignorant because Mama would not have that.
Yes.
But all other crotch goblins in the world, I'm not a fan of. And so, like, the neighbors, I have some neighbors that moved in and they got these, like, I don't know. I feel like there's 40 kids over there, but, I'm not the banker like you, so counting's not my strong point. But I'm just going to say that there's a lot of children and we live on a cul-de-sac. So they're like running around on their like bikes and shit and like playing hide and seek behind my car. And I'm like, I'm working during the day and my window's right here. And I'm like staring out at those kids. And it's like everything in me not to open the door and be like, get away from my cable box, you little monster.
You're turning into that old woman.
I am. The quarantine.
We're going to be the grandmothers of the internet.
Oh my God. It is. I'm just like, I cannot believe I'm so angry at these children for just trying to live their life, but goddamn it, shut the fuck up.
Now, I have to ask, though, because you're talking about these people who live next door to you have like 40 kids. Are they anywhere near the people that you used to live by that had the 19 kids and counting kids?
Oh my God. No, those people were like jungle people. Remember, like they were like out there with machetes.
Naked and afraid. Yes.
Yes. And they were like chasing, like shooting the rats down from the palm trees and then climbing up and grabbing coconuts.
They literally were too, the funny thing too is I remember before I came to your house to visit you that time, you were telling me about this family. And I was like, oh, okay, homegirl's exaggerating.
No, they were like no, they were like the crack-headed Swiss Family Robinson. Like,
no, very much. Yeah, it was kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, but that one kid, like, he was adult, so I'm not gross because he was an adult.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but you remember? I don't know if you were there, and he was in the backyard with no shirt on, doing pull-ups. Oh my God!
Because don't you remember? I was also at that point pulling up my Grindr app to see if he was on it.
Yes. And I was just like, oh my God, like living that Swiss Family Robinson life, leave you ripped. Shit.
What can I say?
And I was like,
special. Yeah.
Right? Let me get up on that island. Hold on.
Yeah, because I remember too. I looked at you when I saw the kid and I was like, please tell me I'm not breaking a law by looking at him the way I am.
Oh my Lord, that child was ripped.
I need a
Right?
sip
Oh
of
my
water.
Lord.
Excuse me.
Ooh, I'm
That
gonna
got me hot.
cross and uncross my legs a few hundred times. Give me a minute. Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
girl, you're a mess.
Oh my God, I know. Speaking of a little bit of a mess, let's talk about RuPaul's Drag Race because those of you who are joining us for the first time, well, this is the first time, so it would obviously be the first time for everyone.
Yeah, I hope you're all virgins. You're welcome.
Right, all welcome to the show.
Make sure you
Um,
go back and tell your families this.
Maxine, obviously, as I've said, mentioned earlier, is a semi-retired drag queen, and one of the things that she and I have loved from time beginning is drag queens and
It's
drag,
very
and
true.
so we have been fans of RuPaul's Drag
And
Race since season one.
can we also, while we're talking about how big of a super fans we are, tell about something else you and I share in common regarding Drag Race?
Okay, you tell it because I don't know what you're thinking.
How we were both contestants on season 7.
Oh yes, girl, we were on season
Yes, we
7
were.
together.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
season nobody's ever watched, so that's why you haven't seen us, in case you were wondering.
We were on season 7, and by being on
Yes, we
season
were.
7, we actually what we were was we were in the audience at the live
Mm.
taping, um, and I think the camera panned across us one time, so we know we were there.
It was actually twice, so we were like really famous from it.
That's
So,
true. Like, and
mm.
also Miley Cyrus sat right across from us.
Oh my god, I remember
Remember that? Oh my
that.
God, she's so tiny and cute.
Do
I
you
just
remember how
want to
I
put her in my
cried when
pocket.
I
I love
looked
her.
at her?
And you did. You
I
did a
was too
little
big.
bit, but well, I mean,
Yeah.
your tear ducts have been removed, right?
Well,
So, I
they
mean,
have been. So I mean, it was like obviously there was nothing there, but I was doing that whole like,
you were
which
like a little
represented a
guppy. It
cry.
was so cute.
Yes.
But yeah, so we were even on season 7 of Drag Race. We went to the very first drag con that ever came
We
out.
did. That's
Um,
true. So we're actually very
right,
iconic.
right. We were VIPs at that.
Mm,
Like
yeah,
so.
we actually were. That's actually not even a
Okay,
joke.
wait. But I just want to like tell a little story around that really quick because this was some bullshit, and
Yeah.
I hope next time we go to the drag queen, the drag show, or the drag convention. What I can't think of words right now,
The drag
but
convention.
that they have their goddamn shit together. Because you remember
Oh.
when we showed up to that fucking theater and we were both dressed
Mm,
to the nines. You were in
yes, I
your
was.
heels, I was in my heels, and we thought VIP, we were going to have to do anything. We were going to get a special line. And they were so disorganized,
Mm,
they made us walk 700 miles around the block
it's
to get
true.
the goddamn end of the line, only to have them come back 2 hours later looking for VIP people going, there was a line up front, you should have gone in. And none of those bitches
Yeah.
knew. And our feet hurt
And we
so
asked, I
bad.
remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our feet hurt so bad that at the end of the night, we were supposed to have a meet and greet with some of those queens. And we were like, fuck this shit. We cannot stand another minute.
Do you remember too? I was like, fuck this. I took my shoes off. I took my wig off.
Yes.
And I walked across, what was it, Santa Monica Boulevard?
Yes. We walked across to the Uber driver, like a hot mess, hobbling in. Our
Yeah.
makeup was done. Well, our
Yeah, it was not
tights
cute.
have, oh my God, we were a mess. And we looked like we had just been like through like 7-day meth binge.
Yeah. There's
Because they
actually,
made us walk.
I have to say too, as far as like getting to actually experience this and something that a lot of people probably don't get to see obviously every day is the behind the scenes working of this stuff.
Yes, that
But
was
like
true.
I feel, and tell me if you disagree with this, but I feel like I hope in today's day and age enough years have passed of them doing these live finales and now with the drag cons and all this stuff that they've kind of gotten their act together a little bit better.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I'm hoping.
I mean, let's even talk about the finale taping. Now, most people do know and realize that when they do the top 3 or 4, they film alternate endings so that you
yes,
technically don't know who the winner is.
yes,
But if you recall, we went to the taping, they do the whole show. Everything was actually done, as far as production wise, very well. They
yeah,
get to announcing the queens, and this is exactly what they did. They did an ending where Ginger Minge won. And they were like, Ginger Minge, you're the next drag superstar. And they like put a crown on her. She waved, and then they like took it off of her and reset. And then they're like, Violet Chachki, you're America's Next Drag Superstar, and let her parade around for 27 minutes, flailing the crown, holding the scepter. And then they reset, and then they're like, Pearl, okay, we're done.
Yes.
So I think it was kind of like obvious to everybody there that it wasn't Ginger and it wasn't Pearl.
Yes.
So...
They let Violet run around with that crown forever.
Oh my God, do you remember she was like up and down, back and forth. She like changed her outfit, redid her makeup. I was like, God damn it.
Round and round. Yes.
Yeah. But literally,
like,
I was like,
got a dick.
I mean, we all knew for the love of God, Pearl was not going to win because, obviously she wasn't the personality they were looking for, and that's fine. But they could have at least pretended to like kind of half give her the win for the taping,
right?
So yeah.
Yes.
So hopefully by I don't even know if they'll even be able to do the live finale for season 12 because that would actually not be too far in the near future where they'd be having to tape it.
No, I know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But what I want...
I don't know if they're just going to all sit on their couches and, full geesh and a wig and just sit there and announce the winners.
Right? But if you're sitting on the couch, at least you don't have to talk, I guess.
But a true professional would.
It's true. Always talk, bitches. Yes, no matter what you think is happening, always talk.
Speaking of which, okay, so we're gonna have a little conversation about tucking right now.
Okay.
Because I've never been a fan of trying to be competitive pageant queen. I'm obviously very campy and ridiculous, and I do things to like freak people out and kind of deal. Yeah. But I was convinced into doing a pageant years and years ago. What was it, like 5-6 months after I started doing drag? So it was still very fresh and new to everything. But obviously my friends had seen and knew that I had something different with me, that they kind of, I think it was more like the joke aspect of it. Like, Maxine's going to go out. She's going to do her thing. They're going to be so confused by it, but she won't win because it's like ridiculous.
They were like, you're not competition.
Yeah. So anyway, I go through this whole pageant trying to do everything as absurd as I possibly can and being very unique and different. Well, unfortunately, the one thing I didn't realize when this pageant was happening was they enjoyed that. So I ended up obviously winning the crown and the title. And the one thing that, because I wasn't taking it too seriously, I didn't do was I forgot to tuck. Well, I shouldn't say I forgot. I just didn't care to tuck as well as I normally would have. And so, I go and have to stand in front of the entire bar for them to put this crown on top of my head, and my tuck flopped out, and I was wearing a skin-tight velvet dress.
Can the front row tell you were circumcised?
I think the Quickie Mart 3 blocks down the road was able to tell.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're just going to take from that story that my bitch is a crown-winning bitch. My best bitch is a crown-winning bitch, even though she may have had a meaty tuck once or twice.
It was actually a lot more than no.
The sausage roll and a half.
You can't even call that a meaty tuck. It was just, there was no tuck.
That was like a fish flopping on the dock.
Yeah. But that was before Grindr existed, so I had to do something to be popular. So
right. You needed to make sure you were going home with somebody that night.
Yes. I had to be a winner in all aspects.
Yes. Okay, but all of this started because I wanted to circle around and we want to talk about Drag Race this week because since we are such huge fans, even though it's gone super mainstream and it's still, it's kind of become sort of formulaic, I still watch because I love Mother Ru.
But that's okay.
I'm always going to love Mother Ru.
Yes. And I'm okay with the fact that it's mainstream and they have their formula to it because, in all honesty, if it's spreading the word, let's spread that word.
It's true. Preach, so, preach. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to church with it, girl. So we may set the church on fire, but we're going. So this week's Drag Race, like, I didn't think it was like, there was nothing exceptional about the whole, like, I didn't think anybody was that fantastic with with anything.
Yeah. That's
Like,
I
nobody, I
agree.
mean, Jada won, and I think she was, out of everybody, she did the best, so that was
And
fine.
honestly, I'll be the first to say though, like she was fine, but even then I was kind of like,
Like,
oh, like
they need to
what did she
step
really?
their pussies up, because
Yeah.
it wasn't
Well,
like,
okay, so because I'm such an Uber fan, and I actually think I should win every episode and season of Drag Race myself.
right.
I like to sometimes, when the challenges are happening, I like to put myself in their shoes and see what I would have said or done differently, or how I would put my spin on it. And I think
Hmm.
the first and most important thing that one of them could have done, that could have been fucking hysterical, would be to come out with white goop all over their face and say, "I'm really sorry. I just came from a debriefing with Mike Pence." Oh,
Yeah.
really? Like, I mean, tell me that's not genius.
No, that would have been genius. And there's so much political fodder right now. Like,
Exactly.
the
And especially
whole
because he's a big
fucking
homo. I mean, not
right, like,
accusing, just accusing.
we've now, nicknamed Mike Pence Glory Helena. So yes.
Yes, ma'am.
But like literally, the White House is a fucking like circus. Like, there
Mhm.
is so much fodder there. How are you a drag queen coming out with 20 choices 2020, and you
I'm
do not
telling
mine
you.
that gold? Like,
Yes. And
there
that's the
is,
whole point of that, because I'm like, that was such a simple thing I thought of in the brief moment of it. And I'm like, because I
yeah,
mean, have you seen all the like the gay Mike Pence memes and all that stuff that are out there? It's like that's such an
yes,
easy, obvious choice. And to sit there and
yeah.
say you were doing a debriefing with him, like, come on, that would have had RuPaul dying.
Yeah, there's just a lot of, like, jargon that could have been thrown in, and you can twist it
Yeah.
and really put a fun spin on it. And I
Hmm.
love Jada's whole thing of how, like,
The
politicians
confusion.
do, yes, like, and they do,
Yeah.
like, try to avoid answering questions and give you, like,
Yeah.
I mean, basically every time Trump talks, it's like, what the fuck is even
Oh,
happening?
exactly. When he
But
does too, he talks in such circles that you forget your own name by the time it's all said and done.
right.
Yeah.
Like, I had 7 children by 3 different men, and I didn't even know it in that time
And then
period.
and all of a sudden you're on Maury Povich going, "Who's the father?"
Right?
Yeah.
And bitch, I don't even have a uterus anymore, so I don't know how that happened. So,
Okay,
like,
I'm gonna stop
I
my
just,
inappropriate joke thoughts right now.
why? That's the point of our show.
I know. Oops. Don't forget, I'm not the smartest one, but I'm pretty.
I know you are so pretty, honey. So pretty. But it's always easy to say that, like, in hindsight, right? Like,
Oh,
we could be like,
absolutely.
oh, I would have done
But
this and I would have
yeah,
done that.
but obviously you didn't see my fat ass on the show, so
Right. So, but
yeah.
what the one thing that was such a standout for me this week that, like, okay, like, literally just left me fucking, like, shook was Jackie Cox. For one, her drag.
Oh,
Her drag
everything.
was everything. I thought that was
Yes,
such a
that
brilliant
was
commentary.
probably that was probably her outfit alone for the runway. Oh my god. Can we just talk about that complex layers of amazing?
Like, yeah, everything about it was, for one, like, just, like, it gagged me. The beauty of the whole outfit, the
Yes.
political commentary behind that. Like, that's what the fuck drag is, right? Like, it's taking
Yes.
something and being subversive and shoving it in people's faces and getting them to fucking, like, see.
Exactly.
And she just nailed it with that. And
Hmm. Did you see
then,
Jeff Goldblum tearing up too
yes, and that's
over
like,
her?
when
That
she
it was
did
everything.
that lip sync, that fucking lip sync left me like, raw. And I have never
Hmm.
had a lip sync give me like like usually, it's exciting. Somebody does something, it's fun.
Oh yeah,
But
and
this,
you're sitting there screaming and flailing like an idiot about it, but yeah.
okay, but yes. All right, those are
I mean,
called
I don't do
seizures,
that ever.
and it's a medical condition.
That's my
Okay.
Tourette's. I can't help it. Okay, leave me alone.
Right? Between the two of us, we're always flailing.
Exactly.
but,
We should rename our
but
podcast
that,
to Two Medical Conditions Checking In.
you bitches okay?
Yeah. We're checking in so y'all know we didn't die yet.
You bitches okay? But that lip sync fucking like, I mean, I was crying. I was crying, and
Yeah.
I don't cry about anything.
Same here. Yeah.
It was
That
like life
it
affirming.
yeah. Like I watch Lifetime movies and don't cry. So you know the kind of mean bitch I am. So
What kind of fucking saggy ass, sad, saturated, old, busted bitch be crying over Lifetime movies, anyways?
most of them.
Shit is
You know
so
that's what that whole network
contrived.
that whole network is based on that and Lifetime,
Oh
you
my
know.
god, can't even. It's like this. My cynical bitchy nature, like just sits there the whole time. I'm like, that ain't ever gonna happen. That ain't true. You want me to get sad
Yeah.
about that stupid shit? No, thank you.
I'm still trying to figure out, speaking of the Lifetime movies, where that village exists that has the Christmas parade and the Christmas festival and the whole town gathers into the Christmas bake shop to eat gingerbread cookies. And
Oh, girl, there's like a whole swath of mid America where that shit happens. You
where?
know the
Because like,
area in the middle of the country that we don't go to because we're afraid of it?
oh, you mean the boring spots? Because I was going to say, like, where I live, if you were to go outside and try to eat a gingerbread cookie in the middle of the street, you'd get shot. So, like, there's no excuse for that.
And then the rats would come in and take your gingerbread cookie and fight off the man with a gun.
Yes.
That's how that happened.
I mean, I am living in mafia land. I mean, former mafia land. Yes, we
Farmer.
don't do that
They're
anymore. Not at
reformed.
all.
You live in
Yes,
the
reformed.
reformed
Yes.
mafiosa belt.
Yes. It no
Yeah,
longer
no.
exists.
There's literally like I think like like because when I look at the map I only see the west coast and the east coast because the whole middle of
Yeah.
America scares the shit out of me. Um,
Yeah.
but like literally there are towns in that dead zone that we don't go to
That
that
actually does that?
that do those
Huh.
kinds of things like that have like
I
parades.
I literally watch this stuff and I'm like, this is so bullshit. Like, where would this actually exist? But you're like
No,
for real telling me this?
they for real exist and they like know each other's
Huh.
names.
Oh,
And
that's
like,
crazy. I don't even know my
yeah,
next door neighbor's
girl.
names.
No, well, I
I
know
just
my
give
next
the
door neighbor, but that's only
I just
because
give
we
them
hate
dirty
him.
looks. Yeah.
My next door neighbor is
I
Brandon. He's a corporate. He's I don't know what he does, but he's evil. I'm really sure of it.
Well, actually, I was going to say I have to apologize. I do know my one next door neighbor because remember that was the one where her son was robbing everybody's houses in our neighborhood.
Oh
So
yes.
yeah, yeah, and I don't even live in one of those busted neighborhoods. Like they just let the
But
trash move in next to us. So
close enough. Close enough.
yes,
So, yeah. No, actually, there's a whole like there are places that these things like that actually happen. Yeah.
that's so interesting. I'm
I
never
know
going
it's
to go
kind
to
of.
them because the Midwest scares me. But
I know that's what we said. It's
yeah,
scary. We don't want to go to that
yeah,
place.
no,
And I'm
please
sorry
don't
to
make me.
anybody who's listening that's from one of those places. I'm sure you're a good person. It's just it
Yeah,
scares
but
us.
we're used to civilization.
We're scared. It scares us.
We have things like Grubhub. So
Right? Like how do you live when people
yeah,
can't bring you food?
I know. Actually, that's another thing. Speaking of our age, that's something I've realized too. Like, how did we ever exist back in those days without this stuff?
I
Remember
don't
we used to have
know
to. Do
because
you remember we used to have to pick up the rotary dial telephone in our houses and call each other to
oh my
pick each other up to
god.
drive 20 minutes to get food?
Right? And like if I didn't hear from you, like we just didn't go because I couldn't get a hold of
Yeah.
you. Like, it's just,
Exactly.
yeah,
Like,
I'm so glad we don't live
yeah.
in those days anymore because,
Ugh,
like,
I know. The Stone Ages, they were horrible.
for one, all of these apps that like will bring me anything I want whenever I want it make me feel
Yeah.
like I am a goddamn queen. That I can just
Well,
snap my
as you are.
fingers. Right, exactly. But like I could just snap my fingers, like, but it brings it to reality, right? Like I just snap my fingers and
Yes.
a bitch will bring me like whatever I want.
Hmm.
If I
Well,
need a
and
new
I mean,
dildo,
especially,
I just go on Amazon now and it will bring me a dildo in an hour.
yeah. Because, I mean, I thought it was revolutionary back in the day when Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken merged into one restaurant where you can get a chicken leg and a burrito at the same time.
Oh my god, right? That was like next
Yes.
level right there.
That really was.
That brought two fisting to like an extra level.
That brought my
Double.
waistline to a whole new galaxy.
That was like my first experience with double penetration, and I was so down for it.
That wasn't mine, but we'll just leave that alone.
But
I'm a
it
good
takes
girl.
me time to sometimes to get into things.
You
And I
know.
was like, if I could have a chicken leg and a burrito, maybe I can handle two dicks. We'll see.
Well, I was talking about food still. I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
my bad.
You're a slut.
But I'm hungry too. But like, have you ever eaten a burrito while you were being fucked? Because that's like a challenge.
Yes. I mean, you've heard stories from me.
I have.
And I don't think most things are considered as off the table when it comes to that.
Especially when a meal's involved, everything's on the
Exactly.
table.
I mean, you send me a text message saying, "Hey, I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks," and I'm like, "I need to go to Taco Bell now." Like, yeah. So why would sex stop that?
This is true. All right. Well, I want us to talk about two more things before we end for the day.
Okay.
We're heading up on. We did it. We made 45 minutes of bullshit. That's fantastic. Look at us.
Well, that's not really hard for us, though, because
Right.
this is supposed to be a 5 minute long broadcast now.
Our attention span usually for the next
Yes.
shiny thing.
And just so anybody who hears this understands too, like we live across the country from each other, so it's not like anything is planned out. We will think up of a couple topics, but other than that, I don't even sit there and think about them. And I know Peter doesn't as well. So trust me, this
Baby,
is
you
just
don't
us
ever
being
think.
idiots talking. No,
You don't ever
thinking's
think though,
hard.
baby, so it's okay.
Yes. I can't. Words are hard and my brain hurts.
So we want to do like some weekly, we're going to do like segments like that you guys can look forward to. We don't want to do them all the time just because, you don't want to get sick of shit. But one of the ones that we want to do, like maybe monthly, whatever, as we come up with it at our whim, because, that's the kind of gals we are at our whim, is called
Well.
the Resickening. And that's where we want to bring back fads, fashion shows, anything that we miss or didn't get to get in on the first time, and we want to
Well,
bring it
once again, I
back.
probably did get in on it and quite a few times, but
It's true. And I'm sorry, Michael, we don't take random call-ins right now.
Yeah, we will
we
probably in the near future.
Yes, we might in the near future, but thank
Yes.
you. We appreciate that, but we are not structured enough yet to figure out what the fuck we're doing to develop yet another podcast. Yeah, it was enough to figure out how to do this together. Don't be silent and ghost away, Michael. Don't be like
ghost
that.
away like all of my relationships. Trust me, that's not good.
God,
I don't know if it's the restraining order that makes them ghost me or what, but
usually, I think that's usually the one, baby.
It probably is. But no, definitely. Trust me. Stick around. Continue to listen. One day it took us 2 years to figure this out. Trust me. So
this is a true story.
Call in extra stuff. We will put you VIP on our list to be the first to call in.
VIP, baby. So the Resickening is shit we want to bring back and make it sick again. And since we've been
There are
in
so many things I'd
quarantine,
love to bring back.
so many things. But this
Yes.
week
Go ahead.
I
I'm
am
sorry.
longing. This week I really, really am longing for. Remember the '90s rave scene and the big pants, like that you could fit
Oil
like several of your
cords.
friends in.
Yes. Literally, no, the legs on these pants were so big that, like, I felt skinny a lot. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, like I thought living in leggings and like yoga pants was going to be great during quarantine, but I've been eating so fucking much that it's like it's like rolling up fucking like 7 pounds of ground beef trying to get it stuffed into these legs now. Okay, well maybe closer to like 250 pounds of ground beef.
So wait, are you trying to bring back raver pants or yoga pants?
No, I am trying to bring back raver pants. Okay, I never
So
let
we can
go of
hide all
yoga
the
pants.
goodies.
Yes, because
Yes.
quarantine got me eating 17 times a day.
I'm telling you. And you know what's funny is I'll be laying on my bed all day watching videos and eating, and then I'm like, I'm going to exercise, and then I put on the next video, and then I forget about the exercising thing, and I just keep adding more weight on. Yeah, it's
So
dumb.
can we bring back those pants? Because I feel like, for one,
I'm
I
totally
feel like
down.
we missed the scene, right? Because
Well, we kind of were a part of it enough, I think.
we were like what in our 20s when that happened, or early 20s, very early 20s.
No, more like late teens.
Was it? Because we were those
Yeah.
gothy bitches.
Well, remember though, I just did what the trend was, so maybe more
The,
so I was than you.
yeah, because I
Because
was
I
a
was just
bit
all about trying to
gothy.
keep up. Yeah, I was trying to keep up with the Kardashians before they even existed.
I know
So,
you did. You were always so on top of it. But I don't remember. I remember having a pair of those pants towards the end of it, but I never was really the raver scene.
yeah, and see that. Well, and see that's kind of where I flip flopped, I guess, and like what I was saying, because I obviously, I was all about the gothy wear and doing that. Do you remember I used to do that weird cross dressy stuff too, where I'd be like what I was actually like the original James Charles, where I'd wear like makeup and boy clothes.
Yeah, yeah, you would be so.
So
You were
yeah,
so pretty. Your eyes are the
thank you.
prettiest. Oh my
I just
god, I
didn't have the
love them.
talent that those ones have. But
Not at the time, but you did get better, thankfully.
yes, thank you. I tried.
But yeah, and I just think like we all need those raver pants. I also just kind of want to drop ecstasy. Is that what the raver kids did with ecstasy? Make me
Oh
sound like an old
yes.
lady. Were those
Oh my
kids
god, no.
doing the
Speaking
ecstasy?
speaking of that though. Okay, so this is one thing that I've realized. I don't know if they still do this anymore, but back when we were younger, they would wear like the fat pants, go to the raves, spinning their glow sticks, doing the ecstasy.
Yes.
And then
The
did you know like in
ecstasy.
the I don't know if they still do this or not, but like in the early 2000s they started having like corporate sponsored raves.
What?
Yeah, like I remember
How
listening
did
to the
I miss
radio.
this?
Yeah, they would have like different like sponsored by the radio station or sponsored by whatever, and they would have like different raves at different. And I'm like, no, that's not the point. Like raves
Oh my
were where you
gosh, was
snuck
there a
into the middle
Taco
of the
Bell?
woods. It
Was
might
there a
have
Taco
been.
Bell rave?
I hope so.
Because it would have
But
been so amazing is to drop some ecstasy and get some fucking
at a
nachos and
Taco
run them
Bell.
all over your tits. And
Well,
then you had
that's.
nacho tits.
I was going to say every time I get Taco Bell, I'm in ecstasy. So I don't know if that's different, but
I don't know, but I was just thinking about like if you put them like just rub those nachos on your tits while you're raving, and then I just figured like it was like a snack, and you were high, and you were dancing, and the tactile feel of nachos on your tits. Like I just feel like all
mm,
of that would go together.
that does actually really work. I'm not going to lie.
Popular for being nacho tits.
So something I have to do from the senior home is figure out how to make this work. I love how we talk like we're 90 though, for real, but
I know, but we're not.
yeah, no.
We'll
I'm
just
19 eternally.
eternal forever because of our witchcraft, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's from you know how this is, and that's actually something, you saying that kind of brings a good point up. I enjoy how TV tries to make it sound like, oh, witches suck the youth out of children. And it's like, bitch, please, we suck it out of vegans because they're the ones that got all the energy. They eat right.
Right.
So.
Speaking of vegans,
Mhm.
I know, and speaking, let's marry two things together, which is vegans
Okay.
and YouTube. Now, if
Oh,
anybody that does not
yes.
know Maxine is fucking obsessed with YouTube. This
Very
bitch
much so.
is like, YouTube is actually her hobby.
Actually, YouTube is my job. Banking is my hobby. Because I'm not going to admit that I
This
do watch YouTube while working, but
Yes, this bitch watches so much YouTube. It
it's
is
true.
like literally like she's probably like the number one content consumer out there.
I have the number one rated channel just for views, and not people viewing me, but for the amount that I viewed.
Right.
Oh, it's
So
sad and true.
I know. So every week I want you to tell us about what you're obsessed with this week because you always are sending me things that you found down the YouTube rabbit hole that are fucking
It's
like,
true.
some hidden gems because there's some good shit out there, but it's hard to find it through all of the layers of shit.
Yeah. No, it's actually, and that is a good point because, one thing that and don't get it wrong, I'm the first to sit there when the new Jeffree Star video comes out and I jump on to watch it, or, the newest Tati drama, or any and all the Jenna Marbles, Shane Dawson. I'm into all of them. But one thing that I do actually appreciate are a lot of the unsung heroes, if you can call it, of YouTube. The people who actually put out really good quality, entertainment and products, but maybe don't have quite the amount of viewers that some of these other channels do. So I actually think, it's a good idea to, broaden your horizons out a little bit and try to check out some of these different channels just because I think, it's good to give, some recognition to these channels that otherwise maybe don't get it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was talking to you about a channel that I have watched, and there's actually two channels in one. So to be honest with you, anybody who's watching and listening to us, please check them out, see what you think, even leave us comments. So that way, we could see what you think of the choices and picks we have. But I've been watching this one for a while. Choices 2020. But I've been watching this one for quite a while. His name is on YouTube, No Eggs Craig, and he actually is a vegan. And he chose the route of doing vegan because of his health issues he had in his life, and using that to turn his health around and make him good and great and all that good stuff. So he shares his journey with that, and I think that that's just kind of fun in itself. Just because, again, it's some good quality content. It's not the same fluff and bullshit that you always see.
Yeah, no,
But
that's good.
this is the beauty of the No Eggs Craig, is he actually started that channel originally and then expanded and created the second channel. And the second channel focuses on his parents' business. And it's a business in Syracuse, New York called Hercules Candy. And that's also the
Oh.
name of the channel. Yeah. And so you have and the nice thing about this is the family itself, they all turned vegan in support of their son, but they
Oh
own
my
a chocolate shop.
god. Oh
Yeah.
my lord.
So they're sitting there dipping things in milk chocolate and having all kinds of some, dairy-ish products and whatnot that they're making for people.
Oh
But
god,
they're
I think my,
vegans.
my panties are getting wet. Can you say dip in
Oh,
chocolate again?
yes. No, I'm telling you, you have to check them out. They
Yes.
have, yeah, and the thing is, that's great about it. It's a family owned business, but they do their videos where they sit there in their little. Well, they've actually expanded since then, but they would sit there in their basement of their home, which was also their candy shop, doing the tempering of the chocolate, dipping the candies, all that stuff. And I ordered food from them before. Delicious.
You are
They
such a
no,
slut.
they had. Let me tell you, they have a chocolate covered potato chip that's chocolate peanut butter dipped.
Shut
Oh,
up.
stupid delicious. Yes. So I'm
Oh
telling
my
you, it's
god.
and I love this too because this is a channel that you could highly support in many good ways. You could watch her shows, learn some fun things about candy making and the business side of things as well, and then you could order food from them.
Can you hear my heavy breathing? Like, whew, Lord.
Yeah. So
Whew,
yeah,
Jesus, I can't.
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
that's
need one of my
actually one
heart
of.
pills after this.
I'm telling you, my heart kind of exploded as I was talking
Whew,
about it.
Lord, okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll give them a shout out. We'll put their link to their
Mhm.
website on our website and
Yeah,
get people coming
definitely.
with that.
Yeah, and they're very good people. And honestly, they're one of those channels too. Unlike these big channels where a lot of people are always trying to tweet and Instagram things to get the big YouTubers to like their comments and stuff. I've actually just posted. Like I posted a picture the day I got the candy I ordered from them, saying, "Oh, I got the candy from them." Blah blah. They instantly liked my post. They added comments to it. They started following me. Very kind people. So I highly endorse them. Yep.
Yes. All right, bitch, we got to be wrapping it up here. So this
Yes.
hopefully, hopefully those out there that stumbled upon us on our very first live podcast
Yes.
enjoyed it. We'll be coming back to you every week. And around the
Mhm.
same time, it was supposed to be earlier, but I slept until 12:30 because I'm a trash can
Because of
bitch.
the
So
coronavirus and your
yeah,
quarantine, whatever
I don't know
excuse you need
what
to
day
make.
it is. Don't know
Yes.
what day it is. Which there's all excuses because Maxine is always up at like crack o' dawn. This bitch is like a bird out chirping in the trees at the
And it's
crack
funny
of
too because
dawn.
I don't necessarily go to bed early either, but it's like I wake up like I'm ready to live life or something,
You
and
do every
yeah,
fucking morning, like 5 a.m. You're like,
yeah,
oh my God. And then I'm like over here, like I could barely drag myself out of bed before noon.
yes,
So, yeah. So it was supposed to be around noon my time, 3 your time, but that
yes.
happened.
And
So we're
just
going to
so
try.
and just so we could explain for anybody who may not know, she lives on the West Coast, so that would be Pacific time, and mine's Eastern because I'm on the East
Oh,
Coast.
yeah. Time zones.
So,
They're a
yes.
thing.
Which, speaking of that too, I would actually like to thank any of the people who have listened and joined in and who haven't just kicked out instantly because obviously, the first couple of episodes you do with these things, they always kind of are a little bit of a mess. So
Yes.
I think that
And
was wonderful that they've stayed in. So
we're a mess anyways, and so
it's
like as
true.
we're getting our footing, it's going to be even worse. But
Yes.
next week, next week, join us. We're going to talk about and answer some common misperceptions about witchiness and witchcraft,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
um, and so Ace help you understand two queens. Well, Maxine is a drag queen. And I'm just a
I'm
diva
an
queen.
international drag superstar. Thank you.
um, and just a quick story before we end. Yes, drag
I
queen,
love drag
bring
kings.
it.
Actually, I
Yes.
had back in the day when I was a full time performer, I had a drag son, and I named him Ty
Oh,
Lenal. So
oh yes.
yes,
I
so
love
I'm
it.
clearly a big supporter of all kinds of drag. So thank you
Yes,
for doing what you do.
bring it. Oh yes, love us some
Yes,
drag kings every
yes,
day, all day.
yes.
And just so you know, like backstory for Two Queens checking in is Maxine and I have been friends for life. Well, not
Hmm.
life. Like we didn't come out of the womb together, but
Close enough. We've
close
been friends for
enough.
like 25 years. We're both 19 years old.
Yes, yes. And we go on vacation every year because we do live on opposite coasts. And
Hmm.
so we hook up every year to go on vacation with just each other.
Yes.
Living life, celebrating the fact that, these two bitches can be best friends for life. And we went to Vegas. I don't
Oh,
know.
you're telling the story.
Yes. We went to Las Vegas about 5 or 6, I don't know, maybe 7 or more years ago now.
No, it was actually 6 years now. Yeah. Mhm.
Six, yeah, okay. So 6 years ago, we went to Vegas as
Actually,
one of our vacations.
it was
What?
actually 6 years in April. So
Yes, well, it did not
happy
stay
Vegas
in Vegas,
anniversary.
Ace, because
Yes.
we brought it with us.
Actually, what happens in
Um,
Vegas, it does not stay there because I tell everybody everything. So thank
it
you, Ace,
does.
but I'm
This
not
bitch has
ashamed.
no chill, no chill.
I don't.
An herbal stocking
So.
Ace looks like virtually. um, so when we got to the hotel, and we went up to the desk, the lady didn't even like look up at us or any acknowledge our presence or anything. She just like blurted out. She goes, "Two queens checking in," and we started
and
laughing.
understand, I wasn't even wearing lipstick or anything at this point,
Yes.
so I was totally boy.
So we started laughing so hard because
And
like
I looked at Theta and I looked back at the girl and I went, clearly.
and so from then on, that was our joke that we were two queens checking in everywhere. And when we decided to make a podcast, obviously it just made sense and it fit.
Yes. So we're all about stealing other people's ideas. So
exactly. We're like, thank you, bitch. We're going to copyright that and move on with it. And
yes.
you may not ever be seen or heard from again as we steal your idea. Thank you very much. Moving on.
yes. One thing I would actually like to.
Sorry, baby.
Yeah, one thing I would. No, you're fine. One thing I would like to actually say as well too is, after this is all said and done, on my personal Instagram page, I will actually share links for those YouTube channels. So if you want to go onto YouTube and follow it's those two queens on Instagram. And then my personal channel my personal page on Instagram is at Maxine Factor, all one word. Yep. And Theta's is at Theta Valley.
Yeah, we made it so simple. But come next week, join us next week live. We're going to be answering your questions because
yes. And you can even drop us questions on there too if you need, so that way we can get some extra ideas. So we're all about what anybody wants to hear. So
Maxine and I are witches, self-proclaimed witches, and we own it. And so we're going to answer some questions about the misperceptions and stupid shit people be asking us.
All the Hollywood type stuff.
And we may have a special guest appearance next week from my mom as I force her to tell me what things that I find on Urban Dictionary mean, because my mother doesn't know. I had to teach her what the word blowjob meant. So we're gonna.
First off, I don't know where you came from because of your mother, but yeah, you have corrupted her quite a bit. So,
so stay tuned next week. Join us. It'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific Standard Time. We will be live, but then we'll also be putting this out for everybody to listen. So as we fade out, I'd like you guys to listen to this glorious song by Verbicide. I am indebted to Verbicide. I went to him and I said, hey, make a theme song that's punk rock glam, like two trashy bitches standing on the stage getting spit on wearing sequin booty shorts. And this is what he came up with, and I think it nails it on the head. So listen to our outro as we fade away. Thank you for joining us, and we love you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Bye, peoples. Mwah. Love it.